It's been 4 years when I experienced my first hair fall. Since then, I have been looking for different options, different kinds of treatment, including allopathy, homeopathy, and no matter what. Since then, I have been looking for some concrete options to stop my hair fall, but unfortunately, I couldn't find any. My parents live in Surat, and when I spoke to my dad about this, he was telling me to find out some treatment options in Mumbai. At the same time, I asked him, how about Surat? It's better if we look something at our hometown. And my dad found out in a newspaper about Elegance clinic and Dr. Ashutosh Shah. So when my father told me about Dr. Ashutosh Shah, my first concern was about the myth, the stitches, the surgery, the transplant procedure, completely no knowledge about how it works, what happens before and after the surgeries or transplantation. So my father, first he came to see Dr. Ashutosh, where he met his assistant, Mr. Bhargav, and he was pretty satisfied with the first sitting, first conversation. Meanwhile, he kept on looking for other options as well, but throughout all this procedure, all this dilemma of whom to consult, when, where, my father figured out that this clinic, Elegance, answered him the maximum questions. So basically, my father told me to contact Mr. Bhargav from Canada, and since then I have been in touch with him and as well Dr. Ashutosh on WhatsApp, through Facebook live videos and different mediums. I would like to say that I never experienced such highly professionalism highly professional approach with personalized touch, which usually we do not get nowadays. Usually people are into strict business mind and where they don't care what exactly patient is looking for, because at this age when I started losing my hair, it was more of my self-confidence was definitely going down. And when I spoke with Mr. Bhargav, when I spoke to Dr. Ashutosh, I felt, of course, there is a hope now. I can rely a little bit on someone, at least on this matter. When I used to read and hear about FUT and FUE, I wasn't aware of at all. But when I used to hear stitches, of course, in mind we used to think that no, it couldn't be an option. But at the same time, when Dr. Ashutosh explained me on WhatsApp, and even Mr. Bhargav, they were explaining me about why FUT and why FUE need to be taken, what's the results after FUT, after FUE, and what are the differences. Apart from Google research, they actually gave me the practical idea how it works and what are the consequences of not doing FUT and going for FUE, or of not doing FUE and going for FUT. So I was getting clear idea, clear picture sooner or later. When I decided to come in January, finally I told Dr. Ashutosh that I would be visiting India in January after 4 years living in Canada. So the best approach I received from him was not to worry at all about the consultation date, because I had limited time of 25 days and I was wondering how can I manage everything. I had to attend wedding and all those family stuff and everything. I was surprised the way he explained me how to finish all the family work, household activities and stuff finished first, and then take the date before a week a departure for Canada. I did my when I took the date, surgery care before. Okay. From India, Mr. Bhargav and Dr. Ashutosh have been telling me constantly about pre-surgery care. They asked me to go for some gentle scalp massage, and at the same time, how to keep the skin of your head, especially backside, mobile as much as possible, so it's easy for them to get the exactly amount of skin required for the grafts. Throughout the whole procedure, throughout the process of pre-op time, I would say in Canada, they have been in constant touch with me. I haven't waited more than 24 hours for the answer or for the reply. So I was really happy because I consulted a few doctors in Canada as well, and I couldn't find this approach for sure. When I came here for the first time, when I met Dr. Ashutosh, I was really happy that glad me and my father took decision to be here. The approach was fantastic. What we planned before, exactly it was going through the same. And Dr. Ashutosh actually explained about a few things. Dr. Ashutosh explained about FUT and FUE in detail. So basically, he burst the myth about going for FUE, which usually people follow because they are scared of stitches and surgeries. But he explained in detail about how FUT is helpful for the patient and not for the doctor, because he said if in future, if you plan again after 10 years, 15 years to get some more grafts and to get it done again, it's beneficial to go for FUT. So basically, what I read on Google was absolutely different than this. It was similar, but Dr. Ashutosh had more practical approach with that. So he explained that when you take a skin graft in a particular size and particular shape, it's easy to stitch the skin and even grow hair on your stitches. So basically, you save a lot of donor area and you can use it in future whenever you want again. So when we decided finally to take a date on end of my visit, the best idea was okay, when the surgery started, when the date was taken, I was really happy with the staff care provided here. Everyone was really personalized. Their approach was fantastic. Not even a single staff was in a mode of like they were aware of what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, especially all the assistants. They were amazing throughout the procedure. I was definitely under anesthesia, but at the same time I was aware of what's happening, and they were having fun, they were creating jokes and stuff, and they made sure that the environment is not as heavy as operation theater. So for sure, it was an amazing experience. Throughout the procedure, they made sure that I'm not feeling dizzy or scared or anything during the intervals. Once I finished my surgery, I went home, and next day in the morning I received a call from Mr. Bhargav asking about how am I doing again. Usually we do not see that happening because, as I said before, professionalism comes with professionalism comes with personalized touch. It's again a different thing, and it takes a lot of skills and efforts, which I can see here. They called me after 2 days for the dressing and to remove this stitches dressing, which is today, and they showed me about how to do shampooing. They explained me about 5 months medicine course and everything, that how my hair follicles are gonna stay there and the hairs are gonna fall just because they won't get nutrition for next 2-3 months. After that, I'll start getting my hair again, and it's been really amazing experience throughout these 3 days. It's worth it. What you are paying, definitely you get better than what you can get somewhere else. Especially when I was told about the grafts they used from the little part of the skin from my scalp, there were approximately 4,362 grafts, which is a huge amount, because while consulting, doctors said that they may go for FUT and FUE, both techniques, where they may need some individual grafts from other areas as well if they don't get enough from my FUT. But surprisingly, when they advised me for the massage scalp and the skin laxity they were looking for, they got that, and because of that, they got enough grafts for the whole to cover my enough head. For sure, about the reference, I will say I already referred my 3 friends. They are in Bangalore, Mumbai, and Bharuch. I told them about this, and definitely they're going to consult him soon, I'm pretty sure. And I highly recommend everyone who are looking for any kind of hair treatment option, I would say don't waste your time on homeopathy, because trust me, I have experienced. It's my personal experience, and there is no result. You can clearly see the difference between placebo and actual action happening. So I would say go for it. Don't hesitate. It's my personal opinion, and I highly recommend it. About out of the stars, out of 5, I will give 4.97 stars, because the whole process, they made sure that it was about me. They kept the patient at the center. So it is the most primary thing patient would expect from the care provider, and I can see that it's happening in India. So definitely, I'm pretty sure this clinic is going to do great and big in future. Thank you.